Hi everyone, I'm Siow Sian, or you may call me Jenny, and this video is about business cycle core movement in GVC. So what is GVC? The full term is Global Value Chain. A global value chain involves all the activities that firms engage in, whether it's domestic or in foreign countries, to bring a product to the market from conception to final use. And such activities include, but not limited to, from designing, production, marketing, logistics, and distribution to support to the final customer. So there are a lot of activities for a product from firm to consumer. And these activities may or may not be provided by a single firm. It can be shared among several firms. Here are some examples of global value chain. So here we can see that is the production of a t-shirt. So the material, the raw material for a t-shirt, the cotton grown in the United States and is exported to Shanghai, China for manufacturing. And from Shanghai, as you can see from the picture, and then it will move to United States again for imprinting with logos and graphics, and for sale in wholesale and retail markets. So it may move from Washington to New York, and from New York it may export to other countries. So this is an example how a product may produce in different countries, and this phenomenon we call them as a global value chain. And actually most of the products in IT actually is a technology, E&E, electric and electronic, use GVC a lot. So here we have another example. This is an example of a smartphone. Okay, for smartphone, then they involve more intermediate goods, or we say the input to produce the product. So then the process is more complicated. And for this smartphone, we can see that the components are from different countries. Like it may come, the application processors may come from Korea, and some other components may come from Germany, United States. Battery may from Korea, and it can be seen that for one product, it is actually using the components produced in several countries, and this final product may sell in different countries. So since there are so many countries involved in producing one product, and this phenomenon is getting more common, more easy to, is more common and found in global environment. So it will for study on how this phenomenon affect those countries involved in GVC. But before we can do so, let's look at two types of global value chain here. Actually, there are more than two types, but I would only like to talk about the most common two types of global value chain. So from the left, we have forward participation, that is exporting to export. And here there are two examples, the raw materials, parts and components. So raw materials, for example, raw materials from agricultural sector, for agricultural products such as dairy product, vegetables and fruits may be exported to another country to produce, to export. So this is forward participation. And same goes to part and component. A component of smartphone may be produced to export and to reproduce in another country to export. Okay. So these two are examples of forward participation. From the left, we have backward participation. Backward participation is importing to export. So it's a final goods, a finished goods for export. So what is finished goods? Finished goods is any product that we can buy in the market. So they are finished, they are complete, done for consumer to use. Finished goods. So for an export there is finished goods. We may want to know how many percent from these finished goods is produced domestically. For the example of smartphone and t-shirt, the smartphone may be exported by a country. However, the components are all imported. Then this country is simply act as an assembly center, import all the components and export the final goods. So in this example, then the country actually doesn't really have the technology to produce a smartphone. It only act as an assembly center to put everything in one device and then export. Okay, so that will be backward participation. And we have certain countries that play the role in the middle. So they import to process and then export to another country for reprocess. That they will be in the middle, forward and backward participation. So the import semi-finished goods, reproduce and export semi-finished goods for another country to continue the production process. So next we look at the importance of value chains. So it is particularly important to developing country, even though it is equally important to developed country. But it was believed that a developing country can be industrialized by joining the value chain activities. For countries that is reliant on unprocessed primary product, they can become exporters of manufactures and services by specializing in one component, which may have lower requirement in capital, in human resource, and in technology. So this is actually benefits the developing country, but it is actually benefits the developed country also. Because in economics we all learn that all countries they have limitation, or we call them as scarcity. They have limited resources in manpower, in capital. So they can't produce everything at a cheaper cost. So for them to be competitive, and actually this is a result of firms want to be competitive. So slowly then it forms the global value chain. So the consumer of the developed country, they actually benefits by being able to buy the product at cheaper cost. And the developing country, uh, they can enjoy the industrialization. Okay, but of course, all the benefits come together with disadvantages. Okay? So we always have two things: the good and the bad comes together. All right. So since we have talked about the value chain and we have introduced two types of value chain in previous slide, the backward participation and the forward participation. So from the backward participation, we talk about the export of finished goods, and we would like to know how many percent of that finished good is produced within the country and how many percent are imported. So because of this, certain countries they actually suggested that it should be more uh, for one product there should be higher ratio more produced in the country. So reduce import. It is believed that if they keep more production in the country, there will be more job creation. However, based on some research, it actually found that the imports are important for a country economic growth. Imports are important. Not only export, import is equally important. So for a country to continue, for the engine to get the power to run, to continuous running, to generate positive economic growth, they actually need more resources, more bigger market from foreign countries internationally. And if they produce more within the country and more emphasize selling to the domestic market, it actually reduce the resources and reduce the market. Okay. So this is the importance of global value chain. So next we talk about what is a business cycle. So from the diagram you can see there's a few phases of business cycle, from peak to recession to trough to recovery and to expansion. And in economics, some economists believe that the uh, the economy is moving like a circle. When it grew to its maximum, it will fall to recession. And when the recession continues, it will move into depression until the lowest point, which is trough. And at the lowest point, things will get better. So it starts to recover. And if it has enough uh, potential, or they use their potential at the maximum level, very efficient, then from recover, the economics might move into expansion. But when it grows very fast, goes to the peak, then the economic will fall down again to recession. So this is a very simple theory of business cycle, and the graph is taken from internet, the Investopedia. How a country business cycle movement works in global value chain. So if a country economic growth is highly depends on export, and the country is specialized in components rather than a finished product, that means this country actually produce a product together with other countries. So here we have a diagram. It's taken from Global Value Chain Development Report 2019. And from the top, traditional trade network, we can see 3 regional supply hubs in traditional trade network in year 2000. And the 3 supply hubs are US, Germany, and Japan. So United States has a strong linkage to its partner, Canada, Mexico, Korea, Brazil, India, and Australia. And Japan can be considered as the regional supply hub in Asia Pacific region. Japan partners include United States, China, Korea, Chinese Taipei, and many Asian countries. And Germany also is the largest supply hub in European area because the majority of value-added imports in final products by almost all European countries is from Germany. And these facts are taken from the Global Value Chain Development Report. So that is what were happening in year 2000. But when we look at year 2017, the regional supply hub has slightly changes. So you can see there are more than 3 supply hubs in year 2017, and each have their close partner in the supply chain activity. And thus, if these countries they work together, they import from other countries to export, and if exports is important to a country economic growth, and export is actually reproduce the import, then it is logical to assume that those countries who work closely in the value chain, they may have a similar pattern in business cycle. In other words, it means if their export increase, so if export increase in the regional supply hubs, if the regional supply hub, for example, Japan or United States or Germany, export more, then they will require more imported intermediate from their neighbor country, from their partner. And thus, those countries who work closely in the value chain will all export more. And this might generate regional positive economic growth. And if anything happens in one country, a shock might happen. Similarly, this might affect all countries in the value chain. So this is suggested that those countries may have a business cycle core movement if they work in the global value chain. Alright, this is a very short sharing about business cycle core movement in global value chain. Hope you enjoyed today's session. See you.